Hi everyone. It has been a little while since I did a last video, but today and this week the conversation between me and everyone has been on the topic of the thin line between love and lust. So to spare me having more conversations with people, I'm gonna speak a bit on it. So if this video is kind of long, I don't edit no more, I can't bother. Double M if you want to edit for me, feel free. Yeah, so my definition of what love is. Now for many people at the moment, they know it's a winter, it's coming up to Christmas, and Valentine's Day is around the corner, so all of a sudden they're going to want to get together with someone just so they can feel that compassion and love, which in my opinion there's nothing wrong with it, even though I kind of think it's a little bit stupid. But you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion and everyone is different. So what my definition is of love is when you have that endless love for someone, no matter what you hear about them, you're always on their side. When you wake up in the morning and they're on your mind, and you get that little smile and the tingle you feel when you're around them, or when you're not even around them, your mind, and no matter what, you'll always be there for them. Whether you break up, if you're still together, whatever happens, you're always going to be there for that. My definition of love is, it's kind of probably not so easy to explain. I think when you're in love and you feel that, then you kind of know. Now that's what some people always get the feeling of love, and they get it mixed up with lust. Now what's lust? Lust is when you yearn for someone and you've got that urge and that passion that you just want someone. Now lust has an expiry date, and lust is kind of the implement for many people actually cheating, because they're in a relationship and they love someone but they're not lusting them, they're lusting someone else. Now have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? Now psychologists say the 80-20 rule, is 80% of what you have at the moment, what you have with your man, your girl, your girlfriend or whatever, and all the greatness you have, but there's 20% which is missing. Now that 20% is then seen through someone else, which you're lusting for, which is kind of the excuse why they do say many men cheat, because although she may be wifey material, she's missing that 20%. Now some people may agree with me, some people may disagree with me, but I think it's important to get a difference between what love is and what lust is. Quick shout out to my friend Nathaniel. He's partly the reason why I'm making this video, and he's on my Facebook right now trying to ask me questions to answer. But one thing I get many guys that ask me is what's the definition of a real man? And I think I've spoke a bit in previous videos about the definition of a real woman, but I've never really spoken too much of the definition of a real man. And a real man's when he'll put the woman's pure his lust. Now for people wondering what that means, it means when a guy turn up and let you in rather than just difference between wifey and link. Get it? Anyone with me, or am I just talking to myself here? Okay, anyway, so to me a definition of a real man, the list comes out. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a superstar, a truck man, McDonald's worker, everyone's definition of a real man is different. To me, part of my definition, because I think as we grow and we explore and we learn new things, our definition is always changing, just like the reason why there's no such thing as anything perfect. But my definition of a real man is to point is a man who's got ambition. Biggest turn on for me, a guy with ambition. A guy who's true to himself, no matter what anyone else says. He knows what he wants to do in life. Whether at the moment there's no doors open for him, he'll find a way. A real man's someone who will stand up for his own. He won't follow his friends, he won't follow what other people says, because he knows by his words true. And a real man is able to identify what a woman needs and wants emotionally and feed that to her. Do that make sense? Probably not to everyone, but to me, just a real man, someone who acknowledges himself as a man and his responsibility, takes care of his own, and he doesn't look so much for the aesthetics in a woman, but the inside of a woman, and can understand, appreciate, treasure back what she gives back. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had to brain freeze there. I've got a question here. Why do women act off their emotions and expect everything to be alright? Why do women act off their emotions and expect everything to be alright? Okay, I'm going to leave out the woman versus girl thing. I can't speak for all females, but I can say with females, they act off their emotions because it's instinct. When a woman has a gut feeling of something that's going to happen, she'll act off her feelings and emotions because that's her barrier. Women have this barrier that they hold up a wall. Now, when a guy breaks that barrier, when he gains the trust and she feels that she's falling in love with him, that barrier is broken. So the minute a woman will hear something that she can feel is going to bring up her barrier, she'll act off it, which is her emotions. I can't say women and men, we're all very different species in a way, but the same way we're the same. But if certain women act off their emotions, don't speak what's on their mind, and expect everything to be alright, then the truth to be told, they're probably lying to themselves. I've got another question. Do you feel that past experiences affect your future relationships? No. I think part of having past relationships or past experiences teaches us to be stronger, and it teaches us lessons that we didn't before. If you're in a relationship and you're constantly comparing it to your previous, then mentally, say physically you're in a relationship, oh god, mentally, sorry my light's just gone out on me, mentally you're not in that relationship. If you're not in a relationship mentally, then you can't expect to be in that relationship physically. This light's a bit stush. So if you're not in that relationship mentally, you can't expect to be in that relationship physically. Relating, looking back on your past, you can learn from your past, you can grow from your past, but at the same time, your past is your past. If you're relating it back, if you're relating relationships, then you need to get out of your relationship. Sorry, bad advice, but is it to love a man or woman when it hurts? Of course it is. Loving someone, I think
people always seem to get this misinterpretation that loving someone is everything's rosy, that you're going to the park, sorry that's my light, to have a picnic. No. Loving someone is expecting and knowing and acknowledging you're going to be there through hard times, through painful times, when there's times you're sleeping at night and you're crying and you don't know why you're crying, when you know you're praying for someone more than you pray for yourself. That's love. When you get your ass in that snow to go and see them, whatever it takes, even if it's for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, it doesn't really matter. And part of hurt, a lot of it is love, because you can't truly hurt unless you've truly loved, because you've realised what you've lost or something that's gone wrong for you to actually really hurt. Do you feel that? Okay, I'm done for now. I'll be back in a bit.